to our last set of speakers tonight, and two Renate members who work together to present on the final presentation, which is Shelters and Restoration to New Life. And we had decided that we would take the tone of the positive, because that's what keeps us all going. If we were to keep in the negative, we probably wouldn't be able to withstand all of the work. So we have Rania Iochimidou from Greece, who is a member of the core group. There are 7 Renate members who make up the core group, and you see our co-presidents, Mari and Yvonne, are here tonight. So Rania will be joining us from Greece, and Rania works with the community house Damaris in Athens, a safe house and a long-term recovery program for women who are victims of sex trafficking and exploitation. And Rania works in very much the people-centered element of being an educator and a translator, and a soulful person with those in her care and the beneficiaries. So Rania is a member of the core group since May 2022, and Rania is joined by our colleague who represents Renate on the working board from Albania, and Mariana Neshi. And Mariana is the executive director of the organization called Different and Equal in Albania. And this organization provides sustainable and comprehensive services for the reintegration of victims of trafficking, abuse, or exploitation through shelter and community services. And Different and Equal is a member of the National Referral Mechanism and support also in capacity building and improving policies and legislation in the fight of trafficking against human beings. So again, we will ask people to please make sure that you are muted during the presentation. And I will hand over to Rania. I think you're going to begin, or maybe it's Mariana, I'm not too sure.
Yes.
It's Rania, you will begin?
Yes.
Okay, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I try to share my screen.
Okay, and will mine. Super.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There might be a little, remove the spotlight. There might be a time lag. There you have it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Rania.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. We will start with a testimony of a victim of sex trafficking and a safe house beneficiary. My mother passed away when I was a little child, and I grew up with my stepmother. We were many children and very poor. My father migrated, and we rarely saw him home. We couldn't afford to go to school, didn't have money to eat, and my family forced me to engage with somebody I didn't know. He was abusive, and I had the courage to leave, but after that, I found myself alone without family support. I was in a difficult street situation, and somebody benefited from this. I ended up trafficked, abused, and sexually exploited for 2 years. When police found me, I was in a very difficult situation. So in this testimony, we can clearly see how poverty can lead to trafficking and sexual exploitation. When trafficked, the victim has to deal with a whole different and harsh reality. Okay, so that's why after this experience, they need recovery and reintegration. Shelters and safe houses offer holistic recovery programs with an emphasis on reintegration. Here, I would like to point out that all photos in the PowerPoint are real photos from the 2 shelters, one from Albania and one from Greece. Reintegration is the process of recovery and economic and social inclusion following a trafficking experience. It includes settlement in a safe and secure environment, and this is very important as safety is something that the survivor needs to start their journey of restoration. Also, in our safe house in the Athens Community House Damaris, one of our values is safe housing, as we believe that a secure atmosphere promotes the quality of life needed for success, and we try to offer program spaces that reflect the living standard we wish for ourselves. We do everything possible to ensure a secure environment with guidelines, if followed, keep beneficiaries safe. Reintegration also includes access to a reasonable standard of living, as well as mental and physical well-being. We believe that program participants have potential and talents to be discovered in their lives. We create programs and services that focus on participants' strengths and not their weaknesses, as well as emphasizing their success, not their failures. Here we have on the right a bedroom of our safe house, one bed from each girl and one crib for their babies, as well as a photo from a graduate of our safe house, which who now is married. She has a toddler, and this photo was taken to show that now she's free and independent. We believe that reintegration is a process that requires intentionality and time. Necessary skills and integration classes must be taught and paired with developing cultural understanding of life in the host country within the safety of a community. Reintegration includes opportunities for personal, social, and financial development. Skill acquisition and mastery are necessary for program participants to become productive members of society. Thus, we provide for the development of soft and hard skills and involve participants in job training and shadowing. Access to social and emotional support, central aspect of successful reintegration, is that of empowerment, supporting victims to develop skills toward independence and self-sufficiency. And these are some photos of some activities that we have in our safe house. We have cooking lessons, educational excursions, birthdays, handcrafts, etc. Graduated participants begin the aftercare stage as they adjust to independent living, surrounded by a caring family community. It is important that in our program delivery to the beneficiary that they gain a sense of community and know they are truly cared about. Even when participants have completed the formal programs offered, they will still encounter challenges in adjusting into society at large and in making a success of their lives. With the guidance of the staff and the volunteers assigned to the Follow Care program, they are offered the support they need to overcome such challenges. And we can go to Mariana.
Thank you, Rania.
Yeah.
So in our programs, we provide a full package of reintegration services for all the survivors that are referred for our services. And we have multidisciplinary teams of social workers, psychologists, doctors, lawyers, teachers, that all together works to address different needs that survivors of trafficking might have. So each of us, as Rania mentioned, have shelters where we provide safe and affordable accommodation for the survivors of trafficking. We provide medical support, psychological support, legal assistance, education. We provide also then support for increasing life skills and economic empowerment. And we see that long-term support is very important in our programs. And also we engage their integrated survivors to provide peer mentoring support for those that are newly referred in our programs. we see that besides providing huge support for survivors of trafficking, is very important that parallel to it to provide support for their children. So a full package of services is provided also to the children, and in order to be safe and to increase the economic empowerment opportunities for survivors, we provide also PM and after school care for these children. Monitoring and follow-up is also very important in our programs, and also activities for income generation and economic empowerment in order to live independently, financially, psychologically, and in every aspect of their life. I would like also to continue the testimony that Rania did it in the first slide for the survivors that we have supported. It took time for me to recuperate psychologically and physically. Now I am following school and have new friends who treat me the way I deserve, with love and respect. I just finished a vocational course and intensive training on the professional area. My relationship with my family improved, so I visit them regularly. Recently, I found a job with my new professional skills. I think I will succeed to have my financial independence. We have also brought some other testimonies from survivors that are assisted from other countries, from Africa. I look forward to the future. I am strong. I overcame anger and guilty. I am thankful for my life. Another testimony. Now I am employed and I work making bags. I generate an income and I am very happy for it. I would like to conclude through some lessons learned from our work. So reintegration is a very complex process. It's not a linear process. It has failure backs and obstacles and issues to be overcome by survivors and by us as professionals, and sometimes the whole system that supports the survivors. It is an expensive process. A full package of services is needed. Tailor-made approach for each of the survivors. We should tailor the assistance appropriate and specific to their needs. Multidisciplinary intervention is very important. Flexibility. Sometimes we see cases and that face difficulties, and I mentioned failure backs, and even Afrodita mentioned in her presentation how difficult is sometimes with the cases to be assisted, and how flexible we should be in giving our assistance. It's a step-by-step process. Long term is key and very important. Funding and partnership is very necessary. Cooperation between multi-sectors in monitoring and follow-up is very important in long term. And we assist cases for at least 5 years after they leave the program to be sure that they are safe and going well with their independent life. I might stop here. Thank you very much, everybody.
And thank you very much, Mariana. And also, Rania, thank you so much. You know, as our speakers were concluding there, I was thinking of the extent to which we've had an oversight and a little viewing of our insights into some of the work of the Renate Network. And we began with our presentation on awareness raising, which focused on intellectually challenged trafficking victims or victims of trafficking, and indeed those who are vulnerable, and the prevention of trafficking in the case of those who are vulnerable. Our second set of speakers spoke about in the context of law, how do we support victims, identified victims of trafficking. And Brian took us through comprehensively, took us through some of the research that's underway in relation to what provisions, legal provisions are out there across a certain number of six countries, and the sobering reality that there's a certain amount being done, but not enough. and more needs to be done, in particular with regards to legal provision. Mary McHugh took us through the Council of Europe and the Conference of INGOs at the Council of Europe, and indeed the multi-layered arrangements within the conference of the INGOs at the Council of Europe. And we're very fortunate to have such a commitment on Mary's part, and Marie-Christine as well. And then finally, the element of real life experiences in shelter work and in the provision of supports to survivors, as presented by Mariana Meshi and Rania. So thank you all for more than 4 speakers, but 4 categories that have been covered. I was going to go into each one. That was the plan originally. If we were, time has snuck by.